Okay, so here they are, the FreeWell ND filter set. And you probably heard about ND filters being like shades for your cameras, and that's particularly true. Imagine being in a dark room or a dark environment, and then boom, all of a sudden you have this bright light or the sun in your face. Most likely you're gonna have to squint or put on some shades just like this to see properly in the bright environment. The same is true with your sensor in the camera. It's gonna try to adjust to the bright light by reducing the ISO or by increasing the shutter speed. And by increasing the shutter speed, you're gonna have more of a jittery image and more of an unnatural look. And that's where ND filters come in. This reduces the light coming into the image sensor, reducing the shutter speed to give you more a natural and cinematic look. All right, so since we are in an appropriately lit room and the shutter speed of my eyes are pretty good, or the pupils of my eyes are pretty good, I don't need this for indoors. Okay, so we have different filter options here by FreeWell. We talked about the ND filter earlier. We also have the UV and the polarized filter here. And we'll talk about each one in detail and why they're important once we open these boxes. Okay, let's start off with the ND filter here. This is a pack of 4 with different ND intensities depending on the brightness of your environment. So let's open this box and see how these look. You have this seal on here. And there you go. Wow, this thing is sealed twice. All right, so here's your pack of 4 ND filters. Let's see if we can open this up. Wow, this thing is magnetic. Oh, that's pretty cool. This is a nice premium case, guys. And then you have your 4 ND filters in here. Depending on the intensity or brightness of your environment, you can put a darker one for bright sunny days and a lower one for actual cloudy days if you want to still get that cinematic look and reduce your shutter speed. So this thing looks really, really amazing, guys. Now, first impression, these things look very high-end and premium. Now, FreeWell has gone the extra mile to make this even more special by adding an anti-scratch material on here and also making this lens oil resistant. So if you do touch it with your fingerprints, it won't smudge and stay on the lens. Now, they've also gone the extra mile to make sure that these things don't change the color of your image. A lot of the cheaper filters in the market, once you put them on, will give you maybe a violet or a green tint. And they've gone the extra mile to make sure that the image stays as clear and as accurate as possible. So these are the ND filters. We'll definitely try this on today. Let's move on to the UV filter. Now the UV filter is a little bit different. This one is more unique in that this one here will reduce the amount of UV light coming into your image sensor, giving you a cleaner, crisper image. And recently guys have been using UV filters to actually just protect the camera lens. In other words, if you do fly into an object or have a crash, this will take the brunt of the damage opposed to the lens on your camera. It is easier and cheaper to replace a UV filter compared to the actual lens on your action camera. So let's take a look at this one and see how it compares. I'm surprised they actually give you another cleaning cloth right here. So we have 2 of them now. Now the case in this one's a little bit different. It looks arguably more premium than this one actually. This one here is transparent so you can see through it. It does have the FreeWell branding on here. This one has a black case, non-transparent FreeWell, and then the FreeWell logo on the back. So let's open this one and see how it looks on the inside. And there you go. You have one spot here for your UV filter, and then another free spot right here for an additional one. And this is also very soft, like silicone material. And this is to prevent any dust from coming in here and not scratching your lens. So as you can see, it's very transparent, looks like a regular glass on here, just very transparent. And as I said before, this is just here to protect your lens and to remove unwanted UV light from going into your image sensor. Now, last but not least, let's take a look at the polarized filter, the one I'm most excited about, because this one here most likely will give you the most cinematic look here. Now, the polarized filter here is just like any other polarized shades or glasses on the market. This reduces all the sheen or glare in your images. Now, this is really important if you're gonna film some body of water, whether it be a lake, ocean, or sea. This will remove the shimmer on the top or the reflection on the top of the water, giving the water a more transparent look. This also helps to make the sky more vibrant in your image. So if you want to have nice blue vibrant skies, the circular polarized filter is the one for you. So let's open this one up and see how it looks. Now, because of the nature and design of polarized filters, it will give you a certain amount of ND as well built into it. So it will also reduce the amount of light coming into your image sensor and also reduce your shutter speed in the process. So it's kind of 2 for 1. And sometimes you'll see manufacturer make an ND and polarized filter in one. So you see NDPL in the name. All right, similar case. And it says PL in here. So wow, this is pretty cool that they label it here. Here's your microfiber cleaning cloth. So now we have 3 of them. Pretty cool. So let's open this one up and see how it looks. As you can see, it's slightly darker, as I said before. It does give you a little bit of an ND in there, but the main purpose is to reduce glare and sheen in your image. So this is the one I'm most likely to be impressed by. But if it gets too bright, then we'll have to obviously step it up to an ND filter. Now, it is sunny outside. We do live in a sunny climate, so most likely I will be using the ND set here. And I'll probably start off with the middle of the road, maybe an ND16, but you do have an ND8, ND16, ND32, and then ND64. So you have all different steps of light reduction coming to your image. Now that I removed the plastic protector on here, this thing looks really, really nice. All right, so enough about this. Let's try to install one on the drone here as we speak. Let's go with an ND16 since that's a middle of the road one. And this thing is very, very light, not gonna add much weight to your drone. So if you are concerned about that, and if you're using this on the Avata, which does have a movable gimbal, this isn't gonna affect that. So rest assured that this thing here is designed specifically for the O3 camera. So it's as easy as just put this on the side here, and then you have these two grooves, and this should clip right into place. There it is. You heard that click? All right, that's a perfect seal. And as you can see, I can easily change the angle of my camera. This doesn't impede it in any way. And before I fly, I'm probably gonna take the microfiber cloth and clean it one last bit. And you do want to have your lens as clean as possible when you go filming and flying around. Clean fit. Wow. Okay, so let's go take this for a flight and see how our image looks. Okay, so we're back from our test flights, and the FreeWell ND filter set did a pretty amazing job. Now let's start off with the ND filters. Now today wasn't a really bright day, but I did use the ND16, and that was enough to actually reduce the shutter speed to a reasonable level to give me some more motion blur. And you can see that as I was flying this drone throughout the park, doing some zigzagging, and you can see as I passed the power lines or as I passed low to the grass, you can see a lot more motion blur throughout the picture. Really good for cinematics, and yeah, this is a really good thing if you want to induce some motion blur and to reduce your shutter speed. Now, having said that, I did not notice any discernible or noticeable shift in color while flying with these ND filters, which is a really good sign of a quality ND filters. Now, some of the cheaper ND filters in the market, sometimes you'll see a magenta or a green color shift on there, and then you have to go back in post and change that in your editor. Now, as far as the fit and finish on these filters, these things fit very well. Never once did it obstruct the movement of my camera here. I can adjust it really up, high up, or really low down, and really no restriction on there. Really no light leaks as well, which is sometimes can happen with some other manufacturers, but these things fit really well, almost like it came from the factory this way. Now moving on to the PL filter, and this is one I was really excited to see and test. So this thing here worked really well. Obviously the fit and finish in this one is just as good as the ND filter, so it fits pretty well on here. And as I flew, I did see a noticeable difference in the vibrance, the colors, and the sky, as well as the reduced sheen in the water. Now I flew this thing over and over again over water parts, and you can see a noticeable difference with the reduction of the reflection on the water. You can actually see it through the water. You can see the actual turtles in the water. It was pretty cool, and this is probably what I'm gonna keep on this for now. Now, to get the most out of all these filters and your actual camera, you will have to go into your manual settings and adjust it to correspond to your specific environment. As I said, today for me, usually I have a really bright and cloudless sky. Today I did have a lot of clouds, and it wasn't as bright as typical. So you do have to go into your settings and change that manually to get the best performance for your shutter speed and for your camera. Now, having said that, even if you put one of these filters on your drone, even in the auto settings, it will or should improve the image quality overall. And that's gonna happen because you are reducing the amount of light going to the sensor, and the camera will reduce the shutter speed to compensate for that, giving you more natural image and more motion blur. So these things can help, but you can get more out of this camera and these filters if you go into the manual settings of your camera. So having said all that, what do I think about the FreeWell ND filter set? Now, I think this thing is amazing. It's built very well. Quality is really good. It fits perfectly on my O3 camera. No light leaks. There's no color shift, and these things are priced very affordably, guys. So if you're trying to take your videos and images to the next level, these ND filters are a must. I'll leave links to all these products linked down below. Now, if you're looking for a drone to fit your O3 Air unit or your FreeWell ND filters, I have one right here. This is the Nord FPV Nord 5 HD. I've done a full review on it, and I'll leave it linked above so you can take a look at it. So thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.